Human societies have progressed through distinct economic stages, each reflecting unique production and distribution methods. 5 key phases are typically identified. 1. Primitive communal system. 2. Slave-based society. 3. Feudal system. 4. Capitalist economy. 5. Communist society. These stages mark significant shifts in production, social structures, and economic organization. See details below. Number 1. Primitive communal system. The primitive communal system marks the beginning of human society's historical development. In this era, people lived in small groups without class distinctions or private ownership. The community owned all means of production, including land, tools, and products. Everyone shared the right to use and benefit from communal resources. Collective labor was key during this period. Work was divided based on age, gender, and ability, but without discrimination. Tools were basic, made from stone, wood, and bone, and improved over time. Main activities included hunting, gathering, and early farming, primarily for community needs. There were no class divisions or state structures in primitive communes. Decisions were made by group consensus. Clans formed the basic social units. Beliefs centered on nature and ancestors, with rituals and festivals playing important roles. Language developed to aid communication and knowledge transfer. As production methods improved, surplus products emerged. This led to social differences and the beginnings of private ownership. As communities grew larger and more complex, conflicts arose, eventually leading to class divisions in the slave system. Number 2. Slave-based society. Slave ownership marks the second stage in human society's development. This era saw major advances in production, leading to social divisions and opposing classes. In this system, the community no longer owned the means of production. Instead, individuals took control. These slave owners managed land, tools, and people. Slaves had to work under their master's strict control. All work results went to the slave owners. Tools improved from earlier times, boosting productivity. New metal tools, better farming methods, and new production forms like crafts created a new economic base. Farming on large slave work plantations became the main economic activity. Crafts also started to grow, with new trades like metalworking, weaving, and pottery emerging. Society was split into 2 groups, slave owners and slaves. Slave owners controlled everything, including the slaves themselves. Slaves had 0 rights and were forced to work. This created major tension between the 2 groups. To keep things in check, the government stepped in. It used force and laws to keep slaves under control and protect slave owners' interests. Religion often backed up the slave owners' power by saying the system was right. As society got more complex, language grew to fit these new needs. During this time, we start seeing the first real works of art, writing, and impressive buildings pop up. The slave-based system eventually collapsed due to ongoing conflicts between masters and slaves. As slave uprisings became more frequent and intense, the system's effectiveness diminished. This breakdown paved the way for the feudal system to take its place in society. Number 3. Feudal system. Feudalism marks the 3rd stage in human society's evolution. This period features clear class divisions in production and social structures, defined by land ownership and serf labor. Lords privately own the main production resource, land. They control large areas. Serfs depend on lords, working their lands and giving most of their output as rent or forced labor. Feudal economies mainly depend on farming, using better methods like crop rotation, organic fertilizers, and iron tools. Crafts and trade also start to grow. Villages and towns focused on specific crafts appear, making things like cloth and pottery and engaging in trade. This mix of improved farming and growing craft production forms the backbone of the feudal economy. Feudal society has 2 main groups, nobles and serfs. Nobles, including kings, lords, and knights, own land and hold power. The government is spread out, with lords running their own areas. This system mainly serves to keep nobles in charge. The architecture and literature of this era strongly reflect religious influence and noble authority. Castles and grand churches dominate the landscape, while writings often glorify feudal ideals and power structures. Feudalism's decline stems from growing productive forces and internal conflicts. The rise of cities, a new middle class, and advances in science and trade challenge the system. As feudalism becomes outdated, capitalism takes its place, marking a shift in societal structure and economic practices. Number 4. Capitalist economy. Capitalism follows feudalism as the next stage in economic and social development. It's defined by rapid growth in production and technology, driven by private ownership of production means. This era sees a boom in industry and tech advances. It also creates a clear social divide, with 2 main groups emerging, business owners and workers. In the capitalist system, business owners control the means of production. Workers don't own these resources and must work for business owners to earn a living. This setup creates an uneven relationship. Business owners gain extra value from workers' efforts, which they keep as profit. Capitalism centers on industrial growth. Factories and new tech replace farming as the economic base. This shift drives ongoing innovation, bringing key inventions like steam power, electricity, and computers. These advances boost work output and fuel economic growth. Capitalist society has two main groups: business owners and workers. Business owners control production means and run the economy. Workers sell their labor, but don't own production means. This setup creates tension between the groups due to uneven income, power distribution, and often difficult work conditions. Capitalism encourages free enterprise and competition, with the free market as its foundation. Businesses compete to maximize profits, promoting innovation and economic efficiency. The government often plays a role in protecting private property rights and promoting market development, with laws protecting the interests of capitalists and maintaining social order. Capitalism drives global connections in economics, culture, and politics, but it also faces regular economic problems. These include downturns, job losses, and rising prices. These issues stem from the system's internal conflicts, like producing more than people can buy. To address negative effects and unfairness, governments have set up welfare systems and worker protections. The conflicts in capitalism have sparked worker movements to fight for better conditions. These ongoing issues have led to the rise of socialist ideas, which aim to end unfair treatment and create a more equal society. Number 5. Communist society. Communism is seen as the final phase in society's evolution. It aims for a classless society where everyone is equal and resources are shared. In this system, people work together voluntarily for the common good, not for personal gain. The means of production are owned by the community as a whole, not by individuals or private companies. In a communist society, production capabilities reach high levels through advances in science and technology. This ensures everyone's basic needs are met, both material and non-material. The economy uses central planning to share resources fairly. There are no social classes, and everyone has the same rights and responsibilities. The government's control over society decreases over time. Power shifts to community-run organizations. Everyone can access education and grow their skills. Science, art, and culture thrive, showing the variety of human experiences. People's spiritual needs are met through widespread participation in cultural and leisure activities. Socialism serves as a transition between capitalism and communism. It involves making production means public property and using planned economics. As production capabilities grow and class differences fade, society moves toward communism. This final stage applies the rule, from each as they can, to each as they need. This means everyone gives what they're able to and gets what they require. In this system, everyone has equal rights and opportunities, regardless of their background. Communism aims to be the most advanced form of society, but making it work takes significant resources and ongoing effort from everyone involved. Communism remains a theoretical concept. No nation has fully implemented all its principles. Still, studying communism offers insights into potential societal goals and the evolution of social systems. It helps us understand different approaches to organizing society and the economy. The 5 socio-economic formations, from primitive communal society to communism, showcase human society's historical evolution. Each stage has unique production, distribution, and social relationship characteristics. Studying these formations provides insights into societal development and the challenges in creating a fair, sustainable society.